Okay, so our next lesson, and these lessons right now are intended for the absolute beginner who wants to take up the game of chess but doesn't even know how the pieces move. One of the things that new players struggle with, and actually players who've been playing for a while, is they don't know how to put people in checkmate. I put on chess tournaments for non-rated chess tournaments for over 10 years, and the young scholastic players that I've seen pretty much every one of those 10 years. We always have a good number of them who don't know how to put an opposing player away, even though they have overwhelming advantage. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and that these first lessons have been geared toward that end so that you know how to finish an opponent off. So we have here a king and a rook against the king. Is it possible to be able to obtain a checkmate with just these pieces? Yes. I'm not going to have the king start off on the back rank because that's too simple. So I'm going to just put this black king, say, middle of the board, more or less. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to, as white, I'm going to try to eliminate space. And so I'm going to force the king to move all the way back, and eventually I'm going to work in harmony with my king and rook to be able to put the opposing king away. All right, so let's get started. My first move as white is I'm going to start cutting off space, and so I've just taken up the first 3 ranks here, and now the black king, again, if I was the black king, I would be doing everything in my power to try to improve my position. Because I'm severely disadvantaged in material right now, my only hope is to be able to capture the rook and be able to escape with a draw in this game. So I want to get as close as I can. Remember, I can only, as the opposing king, lone king, I can only move 1 square in any direction. So I'm going to try to get to that rook and hope that the white pieces, that player is not paying attention, and I can capture the rook and salvage half a point. Okay, so on my move, I'm trying to get close to the rook, hoping it doesn't pay attention. And so the rook now, I'm just going to go ahead and marshal my forces with my king. So I'm going to bring that in harmony. He's going to play over here. And now I have a choice as white to eliminate a great deal of space, and I will. So in this instance, I'm going to jump over onto this side. And so now what I've done is I've taken away over half the board, well, actually 3/4 of the board, because I now control all of this area here, all of this area here, and so the king now is limited to these squares over here. So now, as the king, I'm going to move back, hoping that maybe they're not paying attention. But in harmony, I'm going to again work with my king to cut off more space. So with my king here, I can either move to the side or back. These are controlled by the white rook. Here I'll move back. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take away space. Now there always has to be 1 square between the opposing kings. And so I'm going to force the king to continue to move backward. So here in this instance, I'm going to move it here to the side for the time being. Now as with the white rook, what I'm going to do is I'll move it up here, and since the king cannot move upward to, he's in check right now with the rook. Can't move, there always has to be a square between the 2 kings. Now this black king must retreat. I'm going to go ahead and move my king up to protect my right rook, and now the black king has another choice to make. What am I going to do? And so in this instance, I'm going to move to the side because I'm going to be a little tricky here. I'm hoping that the white pieces, that they don't know how to harmonize, and so I'm going to try to obtain a stalemate if I can. A stalemate is where you as the lone king can't have a legal move without putting yourself in check. So okay, so now I've got the king here on the side, and what do I do? All right, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to buy some time. Let's see, I will go here. All right, sorry to take so long, but it's hard to film a video and concentrate on what I'm doing. Okay, so now here I have a choice of either moving one of these 2 squares. I'm going to move it back here, and now the king is going to move alongside the rook, leaving only one place for the opposing king to go. And now he moves to the corner, and then finally the white rook moves all the way back, check and mate, because there's no way for the king to move out of check, 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 and there always has to be a square between the two kings, and the game is over. There you go.